now. Great. Can you see the screen now?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see you now. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So today I'm going to be talking about JCI in times of crisis. So we're going to discuss some ideas of what we can do as a local organization to sustain our operations as a JCI members and a JCI board of directors. So some of the topics that we'll be discussing today is JCI's role in raising awareness, online and individual business development, conducting membership meetings online, what we can do on the ground, partnership outreach, and the Activism Framework, using the crisis to recruit members, JCI Strategy and review, mental health, and tips. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is our role in raising awareness. So as you've been seeing, there's a lot of local and national organizations who've been doing many campaigns about the coronavirus pandemic. So what I would recommend to you is to launch an online campaign to provide your local community with correct and timely information related to the virus and encourage them to take part in social distancing. And this is very, very important. We're seeing a lot of misinformation out there about the pandemic, people saying to use different types of medicine, including some of them the President of the United States, which is causing a lot of people to get sick because of that medication. We're also seeing a lot of celebrities saying that the coronavirus is a hoax, the coronavirus is fake news, it's not real, or it's a political thing to destroy the economy. And what I've seen so far, I've seen Nigeria have almost 10,000 cases today, or in total. So it's very important to try as much as possible to keep people very informed about what is true information and what is untrue information. Another way you can help is to launch a podcast for your local organization discussing important issues that matter to your community. So this podcast is like a radio show where you can bring in experts to talk about the coronavirus, the economy, or different things that your organization cares about during this time. So it's really important to inform people how to process information during COVID-19 and to ensure that the sources that we are using are reputable and legitimate. So rely on scientific data, on the World Health Organization data, on things that are approved by your Ministry of Health or equivalent agency. So what you see here in the first slide, this was one of the posts where different local presidents created an online campaign related to the coronavirus, and this is one of the posts where JCI has created to inform people the prevention measures of coronavirus. So JCI needs to play an important role in raising the awareness that there is a future following this pandemic. We need to use this as an avenue to build more awareness of the global goals. So people are just thinking about what do we do now in the pandemic, but the pandemic will be over either this year or next year or the year after that. And it's very important for us to have a plan of how we should roll out our activities after the lockdown is over. So during this time, one thing that you can really benefit from is online individual and business development. So as you've been seeing, there's a lot of local and national organizations conducting dozens of trainings or hundreds of trainings online every week. And most of them are free. And there's never been this abundance of training opportunities that are happening in JCI, because everything is online, everything is accessible to all members if you speak the language of that organization. And it's a very good way to also network. if you as a local organization want to do some online events similar to the one that you're hosting today, you can also think about creating networking events for different chapters in Nigeria or all over the world. You can also do happy hour events, awards, book clubs. I've seen JCI Europe, Finland. They did their award ceremonies online. They've been doing a lot of activities online. I've also attended fun events. JCI Cote d'Ivoire, they've done karaoke events on Facebook where people come and sing songs that they like. You can also host discussions and debates. And then there's also more things to help people with, their boredom at home, or to help them learn new skills, maybe cooking sessions, how to make food, because a lot of people were used to delivering or eating out most of the time or relying on their parents for food, but now they live alone. And in the pandemic, there's much less opportunity to do that. We'll also talk about meditation and how to reduce stress. We'll talk about that more in the mental health section. It can also help people get physically fit, do online workout sessions, Zumba sessions, these types of things. You can also host online workshops so your members can still learn while you're staying at home. So most of the JCI courses right now, official courses, can be conducted online. So all of them can be conducted except facilitator and presenter. So all the other courses, there's a lot of trainers that are doing them. You can request from me or any other board member to conduct them for your local or chapter or regional or national chapter. And then you can also encourage your members to create courses that are relevant to your organization, to your community, for things that they would like to learn. Another idea here is to coordinate with specialists such as university professors or experts to give you sessions about topics that you like. And bear in mind, mostly everyone is open to doing these sessions for free nowadays, because the sense of community, the sense of helping people learn during this time is very high. So please take advantage of this point. Another important thing to think about is to transform your already existing projects and activities to have an online aspect to it. So if some of your members are shy about doing physical events, or if you're not allowed to do physical events yet in your city, then a lot of the things that you would have conducted normally physically can be done online. Now, I know some projects need a physical presence, like the tree planting campaign or several things, but training and conferences and summits and networking events can be done online with maybe 80 or 90% of the efficiency of that event. You can also develop a training on crisis management for your organization and help your members deal with this hard time that we are facing. It's also a good time to make use of the time to sharpen ourselves, so learn new skills. There's a lot of tools that you can find online that will help you learn new skills. There's a lot of university courses on Coursera or Udemy, so a lot of different avenues that are very cheap or free. For me, I use an app called Blinkist, which gives you summaries of books in 12 to 18 minutes. So in 1 month, I was able to learn the content of more than 40 books, and I was doing that while I was doing my chores, doing the dishes, cleaning, walking, all of this empty time that you have, or the time that you're doing chores, you can use to learn new information, new content, new skills. Also, you can find ways to contribute to others online. So how can I help others online? If I have a skill, if I know about a specific topic, I can create an online webinar or a session and invite people to learn from me. So it's very important to encourage your members to design their own training. Now, another important thing that your local organization is doing is conducting membership meetings online. So everything that we usually do can be held online. And as you have seen last week, we had, or 2 weeks ago, we had the Americas conference happen online. This week, we are witnessing the European conference with all the meetings, the General Assemblies, the National President's meetings, the awards, the gala, the training. They're all happening online. And this is the first time probably where you'll be able to attend an area conference for free. So if you're not aware, tune into the European conference. It's happening this weekend till next weekend with trainings throughout the week. The Africa and the Middle East conference is happening as well, online as well, and it's taking place in August. Your national president will also send you the dates and the program very soon. So there's a lot of things that are happening online, and conducting meetings is one of them. Some ideas are to conduct members meetings for the board, for the committees, or the project groups, conduct trainings, the panel discussions, brainstorming sessions. You can also try to do TED-like talks or workout sessions, coffee breaks, quiz nights. So you can do a lot of these components like you do them normally in a physical setting. You can still do them online. And then try as much as possible to search for variety and fun. So not only have, a business meeting, try also doing different things, fun things. How we used to go out for dinner, you can do a dinner event. On June 10, I'm participating in an event by JCI Saarbrücken in Germany, which is doing an event where people from all over the world join in and talk about their experience in coronavirus, and JCI to encourage more people to join JCI or to learn about this organization. So you can do things similar to that. In terms of using the tools, there's a lot of different tools that you can think about. You can think about free apps versus paid apps. Here we're using Zoom, which is a paid app, but also there's a lot of tools that you can use to facilitate meetings, to create polls or presentations or conduct activities. You can use Google Drive for that. In terms of the tools, Google Hangouts or Google Meet are free for a few months. So with an almost unlimited amount of people, 1,000 or 100,000 when it comes to a webinar. Skype is also free to use for meetings, and usually it might be easier to handle for people who have slower internet connections. You can use Microsoft Teams or Click Meetings, so there's a lot of options. I usually recommend Google Hangouts if you're conducting a meeting that doesn't have trainings or you don't need breakout rooms, but Zoom is good for breaking out the rooms, the teams into rooms. So members need to be constantly engaged. So we talked about the video platform. Remember that the benefits of parliamentary procedures. So we're also doing, I see that you're also conducting that in your online meetings, and it's very good to do that, but let's not turn all of our events into parliamentary procedures, especially the fun ones, because you still want to attract people, you still want to conduct their, encourage them to stay active in your organization. Encourage members also to keep healthy and physically and mentally while at home. So that can be part of the meetings that you can conduct. And here we see a picture of the headquarters staff of JCI conducting a meeting online with all the members. You can see the small little circles. These are all the headquarters staff members. And President Itai said, we are working towards one common vision. The communication lines are still open. Let's keep interacting and making things happen. Now, when it comes to what we can do on the ground or physical activities, and that goes back to every local and national organization, depending on the laws and regulations that their countries have implemented. So, for example, for me, I've been stuck at home for 90 days now without leaving the house except to go to the supermarket, and I visited my parents twice. So in Lebanon, we've been under total lockdown, and it's been very hard to do any activities on the ground. But some countries, some cities are allowed to do small gatherings. They're allowed to do some relief efforts. They can still go out. But it is very important if you conduct activities on the ground to know what the risk is and to inform all the members of the risk, especially those who are volunteering for those events, because you don't want to be responsible for someone getting sick and passing away because of a JCI project. So make sure that all the risks are outlined, weigh your options, and see if it's safe or not to conduct those projects. So what you can do is maybe organize a fund to respond to the crisis. So you can ask people to donate, and then you can use them for a project related to the coronavirus, things like distributing masks or food aid or sanitizers, things like that. You can also recognize and support the efforts of first responders and essential workers in the crisis. You can do some projects related to that, or look for specific needs created by the current situation and find solutions for that. Provide information for foreigners living in your city or country who do not speak the local or national language. So this is also very important. A lot of people got stuck in countries as tourists that, and they were not able to go back home. They might have limited money, limited resources, limited food. So it's also a good thing to think about those people and how we can help them, especially that JCI is an international organization and we do care about international relations in other countries. So this is something we can do. Also, think about creating a blood donation campaign where you can collect blood for coronavirus patients. Here we see one of the pictures that JCI creative leaders in Curacao. They partnered with a local medical lab to provide safety labs to those in need. Now, also, as I said, we can provide the most vulnerable with basic supplies such as food and medicine, help with legal advice for those that are getting in trouble, especially with rent or costs that are affiliated with the coronavirus. Help people with job matching. As you know, there's a lot of people who have lost their jobs during this pandemic, temporarily or permanent, and they will need money to feed their people, so their families. So if you can help them on a personal or organizational levels in job matching, finding jobs, finding opportunities, teaching them how to create their own job, like a startup, that was also very helpful in terms of what we can do. So, and we can look into the Sustainable Development Goals for a lot of different ideas. Here we see JCI Korea. They have brought essential items such as hand sanitizers and food to communities across the country. Their Clean Day program reached 328 local organizations and sanitized public space. In terms of the partner outreach and the Activism Framework, this is the best time to work on our partnership strategies in terms of the coronavirus relief efforts. So first of all, let's look into and research who the active coronavirus response organizations are in our community and offer to partner with them to achieve their goals more productively. So sometimes we want to work on something, but we don't have the resources to create a big project. But you see in the community, there's dozens of organizations that are working on doing this. And it doesn't need to be NGOs. It can also be companies that, for example, they used to produce alcohol, but now they're producing sanitizers, and they shifted their production, or they used to produce clothes, and now they're producing face masks. So we can try as much as possible to contact these organizations, see how we can help them, either in terms of training them, making them their process more efficient, or just helping them with volunteer opportunities. Also, encourage your members to participate in online events of their national organization or other national organizations and local organizations if there's no language barrier. This is the best way to encourage national interaction while at home. Another important point is to join another project or initiative. We want to be an organization that unites all sectors of society. And this is one of our key important goals in JCI. So let's do it by showing others how it's done. Also, it is yet another step to support the Sustainable Development Goals, number 17, the Partnership for the Goal. Joining collective efforts across local and national organizations, this eliminates the possibility of multiple organizations seeking sponsorship or support from various donors. This is also very important. There's a lot of local organizations in Nigeria, and maybe some of you are working on similar projects. So why not join together to do a bigger project, try it together to get bigger sponsors and create bigger impact. So think about your projects as a cooperation between different organizations, JCI or otherwise. If someone is doing the same idea, doesn't mean that they are your competitor. These people can help you, you can benefit mutually from each other and create more impact. So think of them as a supporter rather than a competitor. So use the Active Citizens Framework on a smaller scale to plan for the future. So start making a list of things that the community will need to help transition out of the crisis, and make a list of partners, and also try definitely to contact these partners and keep that communication open for when the coronavirus pandemic is over. They will also help and support your local organization. But also try to be realistic, so don't oversell your local organization. If you're a small organization, don't tell people that you have more members than you actually do, or that you can take on more projects that you actually can. So here's the Active Citizens Framework. I'm not going to go into it in details. I hope every one of you knows what it's about. But as you can see in the middle, there's partnerships on every different level of the ACF. If you don't know what the ACF is, I would recommend that you ask your local president or your national president to conduct JCI Discover or JCI Impact to learn more about how we can conduct an ACF project. Just a side note that JCI Impact will no longer be an official course starting in a couple of months, so it's been replaced with JCI Discover. JCI Achieve and JCI Impact are no longer official courses. So JCI Discover is the way to go if you want to learn more about the ACF. So partnerships are very essential and will play a large part in how we recover and emerge from this type of crisis. JCI should take the time to reconnect or engage other NGOs and private sector companies. So review the opportunities for collaboration, reach out to these organizations, and organize online brainstorming meetings during which we can promote the ACF as a key tool for them to develop, consolidate partnerships aligned with government support to help communities recover quickly from this pandemic. Now, another point that we can use, or one good thing that maybe has come out of the coronavirus pandemic, is a lot of people have more free time right now. A lot of people are joining more trainings or more online activities, and we can use this as a way to encourage people to join JCI, so a recruitment mechanism. So think about your local organization and try to review the types of memberships that you have. So JCI as a whole now is looking into having online memberships, especially for countries where there's no national organization, especially for cities where there's no local organization. So how we can get more people involved, even if they are far from our local organization. So think about that as a team and see if it's something that is interesting for you. Utilize social platforms to encourage participation in online events and activities. As I said, people have more time available now than before. Be innovative and motivate members to actively promote online events, formal and informal, and run efficient and events and programs which are relevant, and new members will be inspired to join. So when you're conducting trainings and events, don't just focus on your members. Try to do things that might be useful for people who are not members to attract them to the organization. Also, if you want to learn more about how to recruit members, there's a brand new course called Engage, Empower, and Grow. This is a new JCI official course that I created last year, and it's about recruitment and retention of your members. This course will be conducted during our area conference in August. You can also request to have this course for your local organization if you like. And it's also very important to help you recruit members. Now, in terms of our strategy, we all know the 5 strategies of JCI: impact, motivate, invest, collaborate, and connect. We can take this time that we have right now to review and evaluate our organization's strategic plan. Are they aligned to JCI's strategic plan as a whole? Because we do have a strategic plan, we have a yearly plan of action. If you don't know about them, take a look at on the library on JCI.cc and try as much as possible to align your strategy to them. And then also do your evaluations of the projects and the programs that you are doing. Are they still relevant? Are they still sustainable? Do they align to our goals? Do they align to what's happening right now with the pandemic? Brainstorming is crucial to maximize impact in the future. So redefine your organization and try as much as possible to engage your members during this process. Also, try to think about your marketing strategies and implement or revise social media strategies. Evaluate if you have a website and your social media platforms, are they up to date? Do they have enough engagement? Are people using them regularly? Be relevant and develop an engagement strategy to keep your members attracted. And part of the strategy and the review process is to plan for the future. So as I said before, this process is, the pandemic is going to be over at some point, and you don't want to wait until then to come up with what you want to do. JCI is a 1 year to lead organization, but that doesn't mean that your local organization shouldn't have a 5-year plan. That doesn't mean that the current local president or the local board will not sit with the next board or the board of last year. You can create a committee from different experienced members and come up with a strategic plan for your organization, especially what to do after the pandemic is over. And another important question to ask yourself is, how will your organization unite all sectors of society within your community? And this is something that JCI on the international level is focusing on. We're back to focusing on the 4 areas of opportunities, which are individual development, business development, international relations, and community development. So try as much as possible to diversify your activities. Don't only work on community projects, because your members also need to gain the business experience, they need to gain the individual experience and the international experience. Now I come to a very important topic, which is mental health, and this is something that people don't really take care of a lot during their lives, and this is now very crucial. You need to make your members feel that you care about them, care about their mental health and their physical health. Apart from being leaders, we are people too, and really you have to take care of your body and your mental health in order to have members that are healthy and active. Something that you can work on related to health and not just mental health is the vitamin D deficiency, which most people are not leaving their house now. They're not getting exposed to the sun. So there's going to be a lot of cases of vitamin D deficiency, which causes a lot of different diseases, and people will feel tired and exhausted and can't move and have a lot of headaches. So that is something that you can encourage your members or your community to take vitamin supplements, vitamin D, or try to get food that is rich in vitamin D. Another thing that you can do in relation to mental health is create online activities to alleviate depression and mental issues that might arise due to long-term confinement or isolation during this period. And this is very important, especially for people who live alone. It's important to create some activities for them so that they don't feel as alone. So finally, I'm going to be talking about some tips that will guide you throughout this process. So if you have any ideas, try to test them on a smaller scale first before expanding to a bigger project. So try to do a pilot program and see if it works, if it's effective, if it's sustainable. And then show the meaning of real leadership and lead by example. And this is important for not only the JCI local president or the local board members, it's important for all the JCI members in your chapter or in JCI Nigeria, because JCI, the tagline now is developing leaders for a changing world. So every single member of JCI should be aspiring to be a leader in their community. There's a lot of resources, and if you'd like, I can send you books and information about how to improve your leadership skills. You can also take the JCI Effective Leadership course and try as much as possible to pass on the leadership responsibilities to all the members in the organization. Another important thing is to have fun and find ways to enjoy this time. We are all confined at home or have limited mobility. We're not able to travel to conferences or to events. We're not able to really be free physically, but it doesn't mean that we cannot have fun. We can do online parties. We can do online events. We can try as much as possible to change the mood of people. Check up on people. Try to have phone calls, not necessarily related to JCI, just to get to know people or get to see what they're up to lately, and try to have fun. Another thing that is important is to be consistently present online. So don't just have one event per month and then disappear until the next month. Try to do different things. Try to share articles. Try to share movies that you like or games that you've been playing, food that you've been cooking. So try to do different things online and try to be consistent with that. And another thing that we talked about is learn from others, learn from your fellow JCI members, learn from different apps and courses and people in your community. It depends on what you want. Use this time to learn skills that you've always wanted to do. If you want to learn French or any other language, start. There are so many apps, there are so many courses, there are so many people online that are willing to help you for free. So look into those things. And then identify and understand other people's behavior during the crisis. So it's also a learning experience for you to learn how people interact during crisis, what their behaviors are like, and how you can use that to solve problems. So none of us expected to have this pandemic or on such a global scale and have our lives rooted from their existence. But what we can learn from this now is that we have to plan for the future by learning from the present. This is not the first time that we've had a global pandemic, and this is not the last time that we will have one. But what we can learn from it today will help us become more ready for it when it comes next time. So there are things that you can do as an organization, put a crisis management plan, help and teach other organizations or even your government on how to prepare better for the next pandemic. Look for new opportunities that come and be ready to take them. So try as much as possible to take initiative, try as much as possible to take in new opportunities, because if you are staying at home, you need things to do, you need to keep learning, you need to keep interacting with people, keep networking, and whatever you do now will definitely benefit you post-lockdown. Be creative and be innovative in the solutions you provide, so don't just do things that you've been used to doing all of your life. Try new things, try to think outside the box, try to research and Google and see what people are doing to solve this solution, this problem. It doesn't have to be the traditional way of doing things. Be brave, be bold in your actions, and keep in mind that every action that you do as an organization or as a member matters. Finally, as the world is encountering this hard time, we have an opportunity to demonstrate our leadership skills and be part of the support movement that we are witnessing on all levels. We are all in this together. Our unity is the only way to overcome this pandemic. We have been trained to be active citizens. Our skills and our values are highly needed in this troubled time. It is the time to show our members and the world what JCI can do on every level. Thank you very much for joining me for this training session today. If you have any questions, I can take them now. And if you would like to reach out to me, you can see my email on the slide.
Okay, thank you very much, IVP Mohammad. That was a very, very wonderful training. In a time like this, when you are faced with so many challenges as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it's actually very, very sacrosanct that we do not forget what you signed up for, which is JCI. And thank you very much for actually giving us the charge needed to continue in our service to humanity that the organization has afforded us. Thank you very much. Taking questions now. If you have any questions, you can please drop on the group so you can take it. Then also, it is very important that we all know that IVP Mohammad Hijazi is the IVP representing African Middle East, our country included as Nigeria. So I'm very sure that a lot of us want to connect with you on every media, considering the fact that we actually cannot meet at the African Middle East Conference. So we also like you to help us drop in the group chat all social media handles that we can actually connect you with, so we can actually keep the communication going. Thank you very much.
Sure, I will do that. So any questions?
Question from anybody? Okay, I see that Ravi dropped something on the group, asking us to join the Telegram channel that actually accommodates all the members from around the world. So, fellow, this is if you have the Telegram communication app on your phone, you can actually click on that link to connect with fellow active citizens from all over the world.
And so, where is this question? Because the audio is not very clear. I see a question here. What is the JCI headquarters strategy for national and local organizations to sustain members and maintain dues at a time like this? So in terms of what headquarters is doing, most organizations have been given a deferral for the payment of fees for a few months. So it depends on your national president. The member dues have been deferred. In terms of headquarters the budget was reviewed in terms of not having area conferences this year. So a lot of the costs, and especially in terms of travel and in terms of events, have been greatly reduced. So we have balanced our budget accordingly to have the area to the World Congress with also a reduced number of attendees. So this is why it might be difficult for the Vice President to visit all the countries due to the budget cuts. But with the technology that we have now, it's important to conduct electronic visits as much as physical visits. In terms of the local level, it is up to each organization to come up with their own strategies to maintain the payment of dues throughout this year and next year. And headquarters definitely understands the situation. We're all in this together. It's happening all over the world. So they are trying to be as helpful as possible with this issue.
Okay, thank you very much for doing justice to that particular question. Okay, I have another question, yes, that someone dropped. The person asked, how do we as local organization officers energize members to impact at a time like this?
So I didn't hear you very well. You said to impact what?
How do we as local organization officers, how do we as officers energize members, like to keep the impact fire burning? Like how best do you think we can address this?
So it's very important to, as leaders of the organization, as board members, to lead by example and show them that leadership is not about being bossy or trying to impose yourself on others. Leadership is about leading by example and helping people out and teaching them to become leaders on their own. So encourage your local members to come up with projects that they are passionate about. Encourage them to bring trainers about topics that they really care about. Give them a say in your organization, even if they're not a board member. And also, it's very important to show that your members that you care about them. In the end, JCI is a volunteer organization. We're not a company. We don't make profits. We're not here to make money. We're not here to, enrich ourselves financially. We're here to learn. We're here to network. We're here to make friends. And JCI can be your second family. And this is very important for national and local board members to try as much as possible to connect on a human level with their members, become their friends. Before the pandemic, you could go out and eat and party and all of that, but you can still do many things online now to build these relationships. So these are the two key points. Build a relationship with your members and lead by example. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, I think that is it.
I see the national president is here. I would like to say my request. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you very much for hosting.
Yeah, I'd like to call on our 2016 Executive Vice President in charge of JCI Nigeria Southwest, JCI Senator Adedokun Enriolasupo, to please help us appreciate our trainer for that wonderful session that we just had. JCI Senator, are you there?
I'm with you.
Oh, thank you. Fantastic.
All right, Mr. President, JCI Olubadan, thank you very much. Due regards to the National President, 2020 National President, you are welcome to this environment. 2015 National President, JCI Senator Chicago, thank you very much for being our personality of the month. And to our dear trainer, thank you very, very much, International Vice President. It's been a very good moment with you. And some of us that are still very, very passionate about even developing and training people around continuously. we have picked so many other information from the headquarters through you. And the fact is, like the question asked about how to energize members, activism thinking that how can they be in this condition and also make impact? I think I got a very good answers for that. And through your slide, I also believe that we will be able to at least pass the knowledge forward. On behalf of the local organization and JCI Nigeria, I want to say a very big thank you to you. I also want to thank you for giving your time, your resource, your passion to JCI at a time like this, and we still carry the cross to keep moving. Thank you very much for coming around. We will keep in touch. Personally, I also try and keep in touch, and I also ask that probably through the secretariat of the local organization that we can have access to your training slides, because there are some good information that we must keep sharing with active citizens so that they can come back to realize that we must adjust to the new normal. And at the same time, we must just live our life as active citizens. Thank you very, very much. We do hope to learn more from you with time. Very soon, we'll meet again physically now.
Thank you very much for your words. I'm glad you found it useful. In terms of the slides, I can definitely share my slides with you. Just a small point about this presentation. It was developed by 7 board members from all over the world, Vice Presidents and EVPs, and it's also available in French and Spanish. I can also send you my slides because I've added some pictures to them, so I will send them to you, your national president, and she can relay the message to you for sure.
Okay, thank you very much, JCI Senator Mary Olashipalidokin. And thank you very much once again, Mohammad Hijazi. We appreciate your presence there. Please don't forget to drop your social media handles in the group chat so we can connect with you.